Hey, Bruce Naylor here, your boomer consumer. Thanks so much for watching. This is going to be a fun video. This is a review of the IFI Zen 3 Dac. And this has been pretty anticipated by a lot of the fans of IFI products. And so I'm really anxious to share with you my thoughts and opinions on this very, very fine little DAC. I'd like to thank IFI Audio for sending this out to me for review as a loaner. But all opinions are my own, and no one's reviewed the video prior to posting. Now, if you're not real familiar with IFI, they've been around since 2012, and they're headquartered out of the United Kingdom. They have a lot of products, I think around 50 or more products. Headphone, there's Dacs, headphone amps, Dacs, combinations, portable devices. There's all kinds of things, but the IFI Zen 3 Dac, the idea behind this is to have a simple and easy to use, great sounding DAC that you connect directly to your computer, whether it's a Mac or PC, and just start either, playing your video games, listening to music, watching movies, and get the highest possible audio quality you can out of your DAC. All right. And that's the idea behind the Zen 3 Dac. So IFI does a great job with their boxing of their products, and the Zen 3 Dac is no exception. In this box, you got the USB cable for power and data, RCA cables for outputs. You get a 6.35 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter adapter, and of course you get the Zen Dac 3 itself. So I like to share with you my impressions when I unbox a product and just kind of look over some of the features and build and so forth. And the first thing that I got to say, this is a nice, solid feeling little DAC headphone amplifier, okay? All metal construction. It's got that, you can tell an IFI DAC immediately just by looking at the shape of the thing, right? It's kind of cool. Maybe that's just their trademark. Got the IFI logo on top. It's all metal case, very nicely made. I like the fact there's a metal volume control knob on the front because you can use this strictly as a DAC. You could use it as in a preamp mode as well. Maybe you want to hook up a set of powered speakers, something like that. I had this going to actually a power amplifier, the Fosse V3 mono blocks. I actually had it going out to those, and it worked brilliantly with that. I like the fact that, unlike a lot of DACs, they give you what they call the X bass, which essentially just boosts the bass up. The idea is, if you're listening, say with open back headphones, for example, it's kind of weak in bass. Hit that button and boom, you get more bass out of it. But it works. It works just fine. I even used it with my external amplifier and my KEF Q150 speakers. You have a gain button on here. They call it power match. But, if you get some power hungry headphones on here, that's going to work. You get a 6.35 millimeter output and a 4.4 millimeter balanced output. Like all that. And then on the back, well, you've got a switch on here, variable or fixed output. So again, that's what allows you to use it as a preamp or just strictly in DAC mode. Your analog outputs, and then you got power output. I just like the overall design, size, weight. It practically fits in the palm of your hand. So I think IFI did a great job on there. So the Zen Dac 3 has different color codes depending on the frequency that your high-res music that you're listening to. Yellow being PCM 44.1 to 48 kilohertz. White being PCM 88.2, 96, 176.4, 192, 352.8, 384, 705.6, and 768 kilohertz. And then the kind of a turquoise color DSD 64, 128. Red being DSD 256, 512, and so on. You get the idea that those colors kind of illuminate around that volume control knob. But you'll get the idea. But for the most time, I just stuck with 44.1 CD quality, which is good enough for me. But hey, you've got that. That's one of the things that IFI did is they claim on the website that they doubled the high-res capabilities of this DAC. And speaking of the DAC, what chip is in here? It is the Burr Brown True Native design I believe that's a multi-bit DAC. And so that allows the PCM and DCA to kind of take different pathways, and also allows PCM and DSD to remain bit perfect in its native form, right? There's an XMOS 16-core processor in here. So IFI has done a great job giving a lot of powerful components in here, and it shows when you use this. Just some of the unique things about this is that you do have a balanced 4.4 output on the front as well as on the rear. That's kind of unique, but there you go. Also, let's talk a little bit about the power supply. They're using a super clean power supply. Now, initially, it just comes with the USB cable for powering the DAC, but there is an optional external power supply you can hook up to it. When you do that, then only data is coming through the USB. So there you have it. Now, as far as setting this up, you couldn't ask for anything more simple. Really, all you just do is take the included USB cable, plug it in the rear of the IFI Zen, connect it to your PC or your Mac. That's it. You don't have to do anything. Now, of course, you can set, like in Windows or in the Mac, you have to go MIDI and set up whatever frequencies you want to use. But out of the box, it should work without you having to do anything. In other words, it's not super fiddly as far as that's concerned. Okay, let's talk about just how well this little DAC performs. And I've used it for several weeks, and I've listened to tons and tons of different music. Everybody from Janis Joplin to The Who to Pink Floyd, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Norah Jones, Amy Winehouse, a whole ton of different music. And not one time did I ever feel that the DAC was fatiguing or in your face or very what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't have a digital sheen to it. They did a great job. I like the warmth of a Burr Brown DAC, right? My NAD C538 CD player uses a Burr Brown DAC, I believe. And they just have a certain sound signature to them. They're very musical sounding. They're very warm. I think it would please most audiophiles unless you have a super highly resolving system. I think you're going to get a great listening experience, whether you're listening to movies or whether you're listening to music, etc. It's all going to be in there. There is a lot of clarity. There's a lot of detail there. The sound stage is great. And whether I used it with an external amplifier and speakers or headphones, it was there. And by the way, the headphone amplifier, I used it with the Aria Organics and the Edition XS headphones from Hi-Fi Man. And I was quite pleased. There was plenty of power to drive those planar magnetic headphones. All right. Never tested them with IEMs. I'm not an IEM guy. I don't review IEMs. I don't care for IEMs. I don't like things sticking in the ear like that. So the listening experience is very, very good. You're looking at a price tag of like $229 for this DAC. So it's going to hang with just about all the stuff SMSL and Topping and others is going to do. Comparing it with other DACs, I have a Topping, what's the D70 Pro Sabre Edition. I have the Hi-Fi Man R2R is their Serenade DAC in here. So I've got a number of DACs. I've got the Skit Audio, was it the Modi 3 DAC on it? How does it compare with those? Well, price-wise, this is going to be more expensive than the Skit, okay? And you can definitely get, Topping DACs for less money. You can get those with the DS10s for under $100. The SMSL SU1 quite a bit cheaper. So is this worth the additional money? I think so. I think the overall build quality is superior. I think, of course, you're getting the balanced output on the back. You're getting balanced output headphone. You're getting the X bass on there. You're getting the Burr Brown chipset on there. Oh, this does do MQA encoding or decoding if that's important to you. It does do DSD. So you can use it as a preamp in addition to a DAC. This is something I think if you invest the money in, it's going to last you a really long time. It's going to be extremely versatile. and you're going to have a lot of different use cases for it. Yes, you can get DACs cheaper that probably sound very close, but I think the Burr Brown DAC chips, I just think the implementation, the analog outputs, because there's more to a DAC, the sound of a DAC, than just the DAC chip, right? You have the power supply, you have the clock, you have the jitter, you have the analog output stage. So there's a lot going inside of a DAC other than just the chip. So don't get hung up just on what the DAC chip is. You got to look at the whole thing as far as, when you're comparing the quality and the sound of a DAC. So who is this best suited for? Well, I think if you're a gamer, I think you're going to like it unless you're into the whole surround sound thing on there. Audiophiles, I think if you're really getting into high quality sound, it's going to appeal to you. And even if you're a casual listener, I think that there's some real benefits investing in a good headphone amp and DAC for your desktop computer. I really do. Are there any cons with this? Well, I think for the price for $229, I think IFI should include the external power supply as part of the package. Okay, I think that would make it even more competitive rather than you have to turn around and buy the external power supply. The USB is good enough, okay, I think for most people, but I think having that external power supply just adds a little bit more value to the product. Other than that, I can't really find any other faults with it. So it provides, I think, a reasonable amount of value for given the build quality, the functionality, the improvements over the prior generations and DAC, the ability to handle even higher resolution files is all there. And I think the XMOS processor, the Burr Brown chipset, the balanced outputs, you're getting quite a bit for your money. So that's it. That is my review of the IFI Zen 3 DAC. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hey, I always appreciate your comments down below. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Bruce Naylor, the Boomer Consumer, and I'll see you in the next video.